Joining me today is Syd Vinnedge, a man who has worked as an actor, producer, packager, and executive president for many production companies. How did you begin in show business?
I began as an actor, professionally making money. I did school plays and things like that. But by virtue of living outside of Manhattan, I was able to do commercials. And it was probably about 50 years ago today that I think I did my first one, which was on the Today Show. And the host was a fellow named Hugh Downs. And
yes, he did 2020.
Yep, went on to do 2020. And he was also the sidekick for Jack Paar when Jack Paar had the Tonight Show for many years. But the most telling thing about it was to do the Today Show, you really have to get up early. And that was a problem for a young guy. But then, so I did commercials. That's how I got into the business.
So you believe being in Manhattan, New York, that was the hotbed for commercials for an actor?
Well, it depends on what kind of an actor you want to be. If you really are an actor, then you can do it any number of places around the country, at rep theaters and places like that. You can go to England and do it, learn to be an actor. But I was going to high school there and went to college back in that area, and I needed money. And I was able to do that. If I'd lived in Detroit, I'd probably been working at a car factory.
Sure.
It was just a question of needing money.
Okay. So what marked the transition from an actor to the production side?
I continued to act all through college, and I went to college in upstate New York, so I'd be able to go down to New York and do a commercial, whatever. And then when I was in college, I got married and had a child, which made it even more imperative to make money. And so after college, I did some commercials, and I got some offers from studios and soap operas and things like that. But I also was offered a job with an advertising agency. And this was in the mid-'60s. And advertising agencies in those days produced the shows for their clients. So companies like General Foods and Procter & Gamble and Kraft, they actually had the agency produce the show for them. Then they would buy the time from the network, CBS, NBC, or ABC. There were really 3 networks then. And we would take the show, the produced show, over to the network, and they would run it in the time that we would buy. So I segued from being an actor to getting in production by virtue of going to work at J. Walter Thompson. And in those days, that department I worked for was called broadcasting, which is truly what it was in those days, because it was broadcasting. Today we have narrowcasting and cablecasting and all those kinds of things. But then it was broadcasting, and there were 3 networks.
Great.
Thank you for watching this interview with Syd Vinnedge. And please, watch the next video in this series.